Let's see how yesterday's deals, though, will impact the DFS side or Sportsbook going forward here, gentlemen. Starting with the biggest one. So James Harden to Philly. The Nets received Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and a bunch of picks we don't really care about right now. We'll start by analyzing the Philadelphia side of things. How does Harden, now on the 76ers, impact either DFS or the Sportsbook, Gare Bear?
Yeah, I think from a DFS perspective, this is a very unique trade in the sense that, generally speaking, when two superstars are traded for each other, I don't want to say you can just sort of plug in one for the other in terms of usage and shot volume and even minutes volume, but generally speaking, there's like an approximation where, all right, one guy is just replacing the other guy, it's roughly the same, everyone carry on. I mean, we're now adding James Harden to a 76ers team, or potentially adding. I think he's not going to play the next 2 games. So, cross your fingers that his hand and his hamstring get healthy. But you're adding James Harden to a team where Ben Simmons just straight up was not playing. And we had seen Joel Embiid sort of start looking, at least from a usage perspective, much more efficient than this person. But from a usage perspective, look like 2016 Russell Westbrook. His usage rate since the beginning of January was 43%. So obviously you're just going to see slight declines in some of these guys. I mean, Embiid, there's no way you can maintain a usage rate that high playing next to James Harden. Tyrese Maxey, even if he's still in the starting lineup, is going to have to take a back seat to both of these just like usage rate tent poles. So it's just going to be slightly negatively impacting every single 76er when Harden actually does end up playing. And, Harden himself, I think he's the one guy even playing next to Embiid, just from a narrative perspective. I mean, I guess there's the potential for some growth just because maybe he wasn't giving it his full level of effort in Brooklyn, at least the last couple of months. But that remains to be seen. But I think mostly it's Maxey and Embiid are just going to be negatively impacted here in at least the short term.
Yeah, Maddie, Harden's constantly being dissatisfied with his teammates and organizations here. So you have to wonder how long it's going to take until things go south in Philly. But as of right now, what's the impact here? DFS or Sportsbook? Where's the biggest impact?
I'm looking at Sportsbook, though. It's actually a lot of the same points that Garion made. So I guess firstly, the championship odds are really the main spot where Harden will have a positive impact, especially if he's missing regular season games. Like once we get into the playoffs, that's where we'll really see where Harden is a big difference maker for Philly. But the 2 spots where I actually don't think it makes as much of a difference in a positive direction are the division odds, where now we may have games where Harden doesn't play, but Seth Curry's gone. And I don't actually know that Philly's chances to win the division got that much better. They only moved from -150 to -200. So I'm kind of agnostic there. And then where I think it's a clear negative is in the MVP race, because Joel Embiid is the clear favorite right now. But a lot of it has been coming from what Garion just talked about, where his usage rate is crazy. The stats are well past his past career highs. And if Harden's on the court, we're going to see Embiid start to lose some of that statistical dominance that he's had throughout the year. So I actually think this hurts Embiid in the MVP race now that he has another stud out there with him. And we could see some guys who are further back. I'll give a tease for Luka Doncic, who I think we're going to get to. But I think that some other guys who are further back could start to catch Embiid because Harden's now there. It makes Embiid look a little bit worse.